I'm with David Fujiwara, the architect of the Now House, and he's going to explain a bit of how this remarkable project started. What I really like about it, instead of being a big fancy new house, as David said before we started, it looks just like a normal house. So explain, just go back to the beginning of how this project started, just a little bit about the Now House project.
We were looking for a project that we could turn into an energy efficient house. And through a series of meetings and discussions we had, we decided that we'd like to pick a house that in fact existed, because that's part of the idea of notion of conservation is that you reuse as much as you can. We decided that it should be a small house, and we wanted to do something that could be replicated as many times as possible. And we hit upon the idea of using an old Canadian wartime veterans house, thousands of which were built just after the war and some during the war as well. And we thought that it would be a great model to use to develop these ideas of how to replicate the notion of the systems for energy efficiency.
How big is the house?
It's only 1,300 square feet.
Two bedrooms?
Yeah. It's two bedrooms indeed, yeah.
Right. Now, it looks just like all the other houses on the street except for the obvious metal roof. Mm-hmm. But what are the main interventions that you did?
Well, the main thing, first of all, we did what every person should do with their house, and that is to insulate it and seal it. So we've wrapped insulation all around the exterior, below grade, above grade, on the roof, and we've done it in a way that, as much as possible, maintains the existing structure and finishes as they are. Of course, we've had to do a little bit of replacing of finishes. Then, having insulated it, we've considerably reduced the loads on the house. We've also then gone around the house and we've replaced appliances and fixtures as much as we can, again, to reduce loads. So having now done reductions as much as we could around the house, we need to produce energy. So we've got solar photovoltaics on the house, on the back roof, and we've also got solar hot water collectors on the back roof. We've in fact used the entire back roof of the house for solar collection, and we've used every square inch practically of the back roof, and it's providing us with just enough energy to actually achieve the point where we're 93-94% efficient.
So that, when you say that rating of 94 that they were talking about before, that's what they mean? It's like generating 94% of its own energy? It's not really net zero?
That's correct, yeah. However, we're lucky because we have in Ontario this rebate program where you're able to sell electrical energy into the grid.
Right.
And we're hoping to be able to do that very soon. We're working on the connection now, and we'll be selling electricity into the grid at peak times at a higher rate than what we are buying it back for in the evenings and during the winter time.
So it might well end up being net zero.
Where it actually is a net zero cost to the owner. So
okay, so the real, it's just to summarize, like I find the real wonder of this project is that you've taken an absolutely normal post-war house, and instead of blowing it away and building a two-story monster as always goes in, you've kept that size. You think that people can comfortably still live in a 1,300 square foot house when the standard American house is now up to like 3,200?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, in the original schemes that we developed for the house early on, some of the concepts, we had looked at doing additions to the house and making a larger house and a more comfortable house for the owner. But partly because of cost, but also because of the notion of the idea that a small house is a better house for energy efficiency, we decided to pull back and reuse simply what we have in floor area for the existing house. So, and then again, we wanted to keep the house as basic as possible so that you could see it as being a basic building block. All of the things that we've done to the house are, it's almost like a kit of parts. so we want to be able to demonstrate to people that you can work your way towards this kind of energy efficiency. You don't have to do it all at once, but you can do it step by step. If you take the first step of insulating the house, another second step, say, of replacing all of the windows with high efficiency windows and high efficiency glass, replacing your systems, adding a solar hot water collector which will give you domestic hot water. In this case, we've added radiant floor heat in the basement for the livability of the basement area as a recreation room. So we're using solar hot water for that purpose as well. And you can go at it step by step, $5,000 at a time, $10,000, and over the years get to this point. So that's another part of the idea of this small house, very normal, ordinary house. We're trying to prove the point that an ordinary place can get to this level of efficiency and not be any different from the other houses on the street, except for the fact that there's zero energy cost for this house.
Thank you very much, David.
Okay.